Overlook Horizon high-altitude balloons, an Ontario County nonprofit.
This is no ordinary balloon.
What a view!
Over 110,000 feet.
This is incredible.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Hey guys, Tori here from Overlook Horizon. Coming to you live today. We're here in Rochester, New York for finally the first Block 5 Falcon 9 rocket launch today, carrying the Bangabandhu satellite for Bangladesh. I am super excited. This is awesome. I feel almost as excited as I was for Falcon Heavy, and really, this is probably more important than Falcon Heavy. I mean, Falcon Heavy was pretty awesome and a pretty good step forward, but Block 5 is a big deal for SpaceX. This is the final block, the final version or iteration or major version really for SpaceX of the Falcon 9 platform that's really going to be certified for manned missions here. And we're talking rapid reusability, big upgrades, improvements in thrust, super exciting. And we got so much to talk about because there was a tweet storm happening on Twitter about probably about an hour ago that had all kinds of new information, well, not necessarily new information, but verified information from Elon Musk himself during the press conference or the teleconference that Elon had earlier. So we got so much info that we've got on this new Block 5, and it's super exciting. We're starting here a little bit earlier than I normally would, but I was worried we weren't going to get to everything, and I wanted to talk so much about all the new upgrades and improvements that are happening here, as well as what SpaceX vision is for the Block 5 platform and the Falcon 9 platform. And there's also other news too, so much to get into. But before we get into it, I do want to say hi to everybody. I see everybody in the chat here. We're live streaming on both YouTube and Facebook, so hopefully I can get to everybody's comments when I see them. I see Graham hanging out in Facebook. Deborah Shea, good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Over on the YouTube channel, Gregorius, one of our mods and regulars, hanging out with us as well. Space TV, greetings from the UK. Michael, Shaman. There's so many names here. I'm probably not going to see anybody. Plus, if you're from Bangladesh and you're watching as part of the platform, congrats to your country for this big accomplishment here. Thanks for joining us as well. Alex Ziggyful, one of our regulars as well. Matt, thanks. See the Space Lobsters coming through. Appreciate everybody for hanging out here. So let's jump right into it as far as what we're seeing today for Block 5. So Block 5 is it's basically these block numbers are basically version numbers. But one thing that was a little bit surprising, but not surprising at the same time, is Block 5 is really kind of the 6th version of Falcon 9 that they've made changes to. I mean, SpaceX is a little bit different of a company because they can make incremental changes throughout the process a little faster than like a government agency can because they're a private company. So SpaceX is kind of considering this Block 5 as their 6.0 really, but they're calling it Block 5. So this is what they're considering the 6th version of the Falcon 9 rocket. And there was a little bit of confusion, but they did say beforehand that this is a Block 5 first stage and a Block 5 second stage. So some people thought originally that maybe it was a Block 5 first stage or the Block 4 second stage, but they said either yesterday or the day before that both the first and the second stage are Block 5 variations. So this is a full Block 5 Falcon 9 rocket top to bottom here. And when we say Block 5, we're talking a whole bunch of upgrades to really aimed at reusability and a little bit for performance as well. So performance-wise, the 9 Merlin 1D engines at the bottom of the Falcon 9, I can talk, I promise. At the bottom of the rocket, they have about 8% increase in thrust capacity, with the potential of actually even going higher than that, maybe even getting upwards of 10% increase in thrust, which is a huge performance increase without adding any mass to the engine structure itself. So it's more efficient, it's going to have more thrust to it, and so that's going to be a huge very important as far as bringing the cost down for these Falcon 9 rockets, which is big for any sort of space flight, bringing the cost down here. So So we got improved thrust in the engine, and I'm going to forget some of these things. I got notes up here because there's so many changes. I'm going to try not to forget them all. But we've got a lot of the reusability changes really focuses on some heat protection, thermal protections for the engine components, as well as even the state, like the interstage, the landing legs, the grid fins. A lot of changes for thermal protection there. The titanium grid fins that we've seen in the past, we're no longer using the aluminum grid fins. We're now the titanium grid fins are going to be from here on out. So those are a big improvement as far as reusability and being able to handle the re-entry heat. We should pull up some pictures here too, so we can actually look at what we're talking about, right? Let's switch over to here. I do have. Oh, why is that screen black? Uh-oh. I hope we don't have technical difficulties here. Okay. Well, that bottom screen there that's black is supposed to be the SpaceX broadcast. That is what we're going to play the SpaceX broadcast on here. Hold on, we're live. We're going to troubleshoot. We're going to do some technical troubleshooting here real quick because I do want to make sure that this is going to actually work come launch time. Oh boy! All right, hold on, bear with me. I did test this before we started. Let's see. Yeah, we want that. We want the whole thing. Is that, yeah, okay, quick little troubleshooting. I don't know what happened there. I've done this a million times now, but we're back. All right, anyways, so yeah, we're about 35 minutes to launch. I saw somebody there. I don't know if you can see it in the bottom left corner of that little tiny black screen. There is a counter there, so that's why I'm kind of flying through this. I'm trying to make sure. SpaceX will probably start the broadcast usually about 15 or 20 minutes prior to launch, so I want to try to get this stuff in before they start. And then we'll talk some more and talk it after launch as well. And after launch, don't forget, make sure you stick around after launch because we're going to give away a test patch today. Some of these test patches from the NASA TESS Space Telescope mission that I got when I was down at the NASA Social. We're going to give one of these away. I've never done this before. I'm going to use a Nightbot is going to help us choose a winner here today. Never done it. Hopefully it works out well and we don't screw that up. But I got that. We got some test patches to give away after the launch actually happens. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, I feel like I'm talking a mile a minute here. But let's take a look here at the SpaceX Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket here. A couple of cosmetic differences that you see. The interstage is not painted white anymore. That's the coupling between the first stage and the upper stage or the second stage. That black section separator there in the middle, that's called the interstage. That is black now and has thermal protection coating on it. Those grid fins give off a lot of heat during re-entry, so the interstage is now protected a little better from the heat, helping with reusability so it doesn't wear as well or as much. Gregorius says, worst comes to worst, Nightbot goes into a frenzy and bans everyone. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The Nightbot can be touchy. He gets pretty sensitive about if you start spamming the comments, but hopefully the Nightbot is nice and he'll pick a winner just without any technical issues. So also new on the Falcon 9 is the black landing legs. So those were white landing legs before. The black landing legs, some better thermal protection. Those landing legs now can now be automatically retracted. They have actuators on them, so they can actually be retracted very quickly. Previously, on the other Falcon 9 rockets, they had to disassemble and basically take off the landing legs to manually close those legs back up or retract them. It was a process that took hours and hours and hours. So now they can just retract the legs and they're good to go. And what Elon said today during the teleconference is basically he kept referring to it like an airplane. He wants to make space travel like airplane travel, where when this thing comes in, it lands, they bring it back either from on the drone ship or pick it up from the landing site, and really they just have to retract the legs, attach a new second stage, put the payload on, bring it to the pad, fuel it, and go again. There's no like big refurbishing process to make, for replacing parts or any of that kind of stuff. So they're really trying to rapidly, I mean, what he said during the teleconference is their goal is to take this, especially that first stage Falcon 9 booster, they want to be able to use that again within 24 hours. That's crazy. That is crazy fast. Right now, the test mission that I was at is planned for CRS, CRS 15, which is in June. So that refurbishment process is like 8 weeks long, or 6 or 8 weeks long, to get a Falcon 9 booster back to flight ready. And this is going to take that and bring it down to just 24 hours. Huge cost savings, huge potential for launching more rockets in a shorter period of time. So Matt Gixer, he says, or the Nightbot picks everyone to win the patch. Well, although I would love for everyone to win, I don't have enough inventory for everybody to win a patch. I would love to give it away to everybody. So yeah, the Falcon 9, the Block 5 boosters, they can be used, or the intent is for them to be reused up to 10 times with no maintenance in between, other than just the retracting the legs and attaching a new second stage. Basically no maintenance in between flights for 10 flights, and then they'll have minimal maintenance after flight 10, and these boosters can potentially fly up to 100 times, which is a big step up from where we were with the previous block versions. They were basically rated for 2 flights, and then that was it. Usually reused once, and the second one would get expended, and they wouldn't get reused again. So, let's see what else we want. And I also do want to talk about, I see a couple of people joining us from Bangladesh, and I don't want to forget about the Bangabandhu satellite, because that's a big step for their country, getting this communication satellite into orbit as well. So we don't want to forget about that. We don't want to minimize that as well. But a lot of the excitement here is, of course, around the Falcon 9 first stage here. So another thing that's a little bit different. Oh, one other thing I missed too is we also have thermal protection and heat shielding on the engine components as that first stage is re-entering as well, because that also experiences a lot of heat during re-entry, as you might imagine. So the engine components and the plumbing along the bottom are also being heat shielded as well. So that's another improvement. I'm sure I missed some of the improvements, but if anybody remembers them. Oh, Russell the Dude said, what happened to the party balloon idea for the second stage? That's a good... Sorry, I see the Nightbot's yelling at somebody for something. Sorry, Nightbot! So he did mention the second stage, and they are intending to recover the second stage. Not today, but someday they're trying to recover that second stage. Elon had mentioned something about recovering with big party balloons, and likely he didn't really elaborate on that today as far as the balloon process, but he did say they are likely today they will be testing, and in future flights they'll be testing second stage re-entry and just gathering data. When it's re-entering, the second stage is in this big ball of plasma during the heating, so really they can only communicate backwards, so they have to send communication signals up to the Iridium satellite constellation that's in orbit. So the idea is during that deorbit that they do already for the second stage that burns up in the atmosphere, they're going to be sending re-entry data up to the Iridium constellation, collecting that data, and then hopefully be able to recover it. Can't use the engine for recovering because that's a vacuum engine, so it's not really rated for atmospheric usage. But he talked about the party balloons and the bouncy castle. One of the things that he could be talking about, he didn't really elaborate, but he could be talking about with the party balloons is something called a balut or a balut, which is basically a hybrid of a balloon and a parachute. There's a couple different balutes or balutes, however you want to pronounce them. There's a couple different versions of that. You can have a balloon that inflates in front of the craft that basically turns into this inflatable heat shield. You can have a big balloon that acts like a drogue parachute that just drags behind the craft. You can have kind of a hybrid of both situations. So there's a bunch of options there for balutes or balutes, which is kind of exciting because we do balloons, so that's we don't do any of those. But that's a lot of what people thought he might be talking about with the party balloons. But still a lot to be seen as to what they're doing there. He talked a lot about potentially heat shields, but he wants to get that second stage to be reusable, because that's another 20% of the cost. And right now a Falcon 9 launch costs about $60 million. If you can recover the first stage and recover the second stage and recover the payload fairing, and basically all you're doing is refueling it and maybe paying for operational procedures, like the crew and the ships to go out to sea and recover it and things like, you can take that $60 million cost and bring it down to like $5 or $6 million. That's a huge savings. So yeah, a lot of exciting things going on. Yeah, Gregorius says it's a bit hard with Elon sometimes. He likes to talk about shooting my space laser and making a candy factory with moats. Yeah, he talks a little bit cryptic, and sometimes you don't know if he's being serious or not. So yeah, there's usually, at least from what I've seen with Elon's tweets, there's usually a tiny shred of seriousness buried somewhere in the tweet, but the tweet itself is completely nonsensical or not serious or jokey, but usually rooted in truth, or at least an idea somewhere in there. It's just, how do you figure out what that truth or idea is? That's the hard part. And sorry, I know I'm missing all your comments. We will we'll bring it or try to get back to them here shortly. Let's see. What else do we want? So I got some one thing that we do want to talk about is our mission timeline for today. One thing that's very different. Usually when I start this broadcast, we're already into RP1 or propellant loading for the Falcon 9 rocket. Today's flight and fueling procedure is very different, which got a little bit of news coverage recently. The propellant loading doesn't start, well, it should have started already, but RP1 fueling starts at T-minus 35 minutes. Usually that starts at like T-minus 75 minutes. So this is, let's see, I want to make sure fueling has begun. So we are into RP1 fueling. Oh, and here we go. SpaceX broadcast is starting up, so we'll switch over to that in just a few minutes. And then liquid oxygen is also loading at the same time. Usually RP1 starts first, and then we get into liquid oxygen loading a little bit later. That's usually around like 30. The liquid oxygen is still about the same. Usually that's 35 minutes, but a lot of news coverage about that. This is kind of called the load and go method, where you're basically, because the fuel and the liquid oxygen are super chilled, you have to wait until the last minute to load them into the spacecraft. Because they expand and they heat up, and that's not good. You're trying to load these super cooled, super condensed fuels and oxygen into the spacecraft, and then you want to get it off the pad before it warms up and it's not usable anymore. So that's what a lot of the discussion was about this load and go method, because if you get into manned flights, one of the more dangerous things is loading fuel. And in a manned mission, the astronauts would be on board the Dragon 2 crew capsule when fuel loading starts. The space shuttle loaded fuel, and then the astronauts got in after the fuel loading was complete, which is a little more stable. But I don't necessarily think it's I don't think it's a big deal. Obviously, I'm a little bit removed from it, but I think the load and go method is perfectly fine. I'm not a big fan of let's just do it the way we've always done it, just because that's the way we've always done it. I mean, I think if you're going to innovate and bring down the costs, you gotta think outside the box here. So anyways, that got a lot of discussion. So we are underway for fuel loading and liquid oxygen loading now, which has just recently started. So a lot of times I wait to start the broadcast until I find out about that, because usually once they start the fuel loading and the liquid oxygen loading, that's a good sign that launch is going to happen, or at least they're pushing forward. So we're into fuel loading. They'll load the second stage coming up at about T-minus 16 minutes, and then after launch, we've got max Q, a minute 14 in. First stage, MECO, main engine cutoff, 2.5 minutes. Separation is at about right just after that, 2:33. Then we go into second engine cutoff at about 8 minutes. we got a restart about 27 minutes, and then finally the Bangabandhu satellite is deploying about 33 minutes after launch today. We'll stay with it the whole time. Hopefully they show us the camera angle with it. We don't have any NOAA restrictions today. If anybody was paying attention from what launch was that? I don't even remember what launch that was. Yeah, so we I feel like I'm talking so fast, but trying to get to it before SpaceX starts here. So a couple stats for today. So this is going to be the 60th SpaceX launch today, 54th Falcon 9 launch. The other 6 were 5 Falcon 1s and 1 Falcon Heavy. So we got next Falcon Heavy is not coming up till September. Pretty excited about that though. 46th SpaceX launch from the East Coast, 14th launch from Launch Complex 39A. So today's launch is from historic Launch Complex 39A, where we had a lot of Apollo and shuttle missions go from. So 39A is where we're launching. That's also where Falcon Heavy launched from. So we're launching out from 39A today. This is the 8th Falcon 9 launch for this year. So SpaceX is on track to double the number of rockets launched, and they were already the most number of rockets launched last year. They're on track to double that for this year, which is crazy. Ninth SpaceX launch for this year, 8th Falcon 9 launch. I don't know if I said SpaceX or Falcon 9, but it was this is the 8th Falcon 9, the 9th SpaceX. That one extra is the Falcon Heavy. The first flight, the Block 5 booster, which we've mentioned. 25th successful recovery of an orbital class booster. If we land and we can successfully recover it. We are doing a landing at sea. Listen to me say we, like I'm involved in it. I'm not involved. But they are doing a drone ship landing at sea today on the Autonomous Spaceport Drone Ship. Of course, I still love you. And this will be the 14th successful landing on a drone ship if it's successful. So, and then we also don't want to forget the actual mission today, because this is a big deal for the country of Bangladesh. This is the Bangladesh. We're going to geostationary transfer orbit, and this is going to be the first communications satellite for the Bangladesh government. Bangladeshi. I'm not sure what the. So, anyways, this is going up for Bangladesh. This communication satellite. I forget. I don't have the orbital parameters here of exactly where it's sitting, but huge achievement for them to get this satellite up as well. So, of course, congratulations to their country here for getting this up, and they're getting a lot of attention and a lot of publicity because of this Block 5 stuff. So hopefully everything goes well today, and this just puts them in the arena here. Let's see. So they are not going to do Bangladeshi. He said. I thought it was Bangladeshi. That sounded better. I didn't want to make a fool of myself, although I probably do that half the time anyway. So. We are not, they're not going to be recovering the fairing. We do have fairing 2.0 on this, which is the new upgraded fairing, the payload fairing that's going to be protecting the Bagabandhu satellites. So the upgraded fairing, which we saw on the POTH satellite from a few months back, a little bit wider, a little bit taller. It's also got the built-in parafoil steerable parachutes. And the intention is someday they're going to be recovering that. Not today because they don't have the recovery ship on the East Coast. I didn't get any word on whether they were going to try to do a soft landing for recovery. So don't know if they're going to do that soft landing on recovery. But we do have some more to talk about with Mr. Steven, because Mr. Steven got an upgrade. He got a new yellow net here. That's on the West Coast. So if we don't get to it today, we'll certainly talk about it next week for the next Iridium launch. But no. Maybe soft landing for the payload fairing today, but definitely no recovery with the boat because that's not happening today. So let me switch over. I'm going to jump over here to the broadcast because they're starting here now.
It is May 10th at 2:29 p.m. Pacific time, and you are looking at a live view of the upgraded Falcon 9 rocket as it awaits liftoff from the SpaceX launch pad in approximately 17 minutes. Welcome to today's live webcast for the Bangabandhu Satellite 1 mission from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. My name is Tom Perderio, and I'm a firmware engineer in the avionics department here at SpaceX. Today's launch is a particularly exciting one as we have two important milestones taking place. The first milestone is that the payload, Bangabandhu-1, will be the first official geostationary communications satellite for the nation of Bangladesh. The second milestone today is that this is the debut of a series of upgrades to Falcon 9 that we're calling Block 5. These upgrades are designed to allow us to reuse each Falcon 9 10 times or more and also reduce refurbishment time between flights. Falcon 9 today will deliver Bangabandhu-1 to Geostationary Transfer Orbit, also known as GTO. After that, we will be attempting to recover this first stage on Of Course I Still Love You, which is our drone ship currently stationed about 340 nautical miles downrange in the Atlantic Ocean. If successful, this will mark the 25th successful landing for SpaceX. As you can see, we've got a lot to cover in today's webcast, so let's get started.
Hi, I'm Lauren Lyons, and I'm an engineer here in our Flight Reliability Department. Now, for those of you joining us for the first time, just a little bit about Falcon 9. It's a two-stage rocket, each stage having its own engines and its own propellants. The first stage, which is this lower portion here, this is the part of the rocket that generates the tremendous thrust that's necessary in order to get the rocket through the most dense parts of Earth's lower atmosphere and accelerate the second stage and payload up to approximately 48,000 kilometers per hour. This is also the part of the rocket that we're going to be attempting to land on our drone ship after it separates from the second stage, which is sitting on top here. Stage 2 has a single Merlin engine that is optimized to operate in the vacuum of space, and it's going to be responsible for delivering Bangabandhu-1 into its targeted geostationary transfer orbit. Now, at the very, very top of that rocket, that nose cone that you see there is called our payload fairing, and inside of it, Bangabandhu-1. The fairing is what protects the satellite from aerothermal heating and contamination as we travel through the Earth's atmosphere. But once we get into the vacuum of space, we jettison it, it'll separate from the rocket and fall back down to Earth. Now, if you've been watching our rockets for a while, you notice that Falcon 9 looks visibly different today. Most notably, we have this black interstage, this black raceway cover, and these black landing legs. This is the color of our improved thermal protection system materials, or TPS as we call it, and it doesn't require painting. The new thermal protection material is a highly flame-resistant felt, which we expect to be more rapidly reusable than the cork that we previously used. Now, all these changes reflect our ongoing efforts to build not just reusable rockets, but rockets that are rapidly reusable. Eventually, we hope that rocket launches will become like commercial airplanes, where the rockets can be flown over and over again with minimal refurbishments in between. We'll talk more about the Block 5 upgrades later in the webcast, but with just a few minutes left before liftoff, let's get a status update.
Hi, I'm Michael Hammersley, a materials engineer in our avionics department, and I'll be bringing you status updates on the vehicle. Falcon 9 rolled out to the pad with the Bangabandhu-1 payload last night at about 8 p.m. local time, and it went vertical at roughly 8 a.m. local time this morning. We went through the launch director's go, no-go poll, held at about T-minus 2 hours, and we're currently working no issues on the vehicle. One of the several changes to Block 5 is in how we load propellants. We use a liquid kerosene fuel called RP1, and our oxidizer is liquid oxygen. Now, instead of starting with our fuel load at T-minus 70 minutes, we began loading both RP1 and liquid oxygen onto the first stage at T-minus 35 minutes. At the same time, we started loading RP1 onto the second stage. So the first stage is going to be continuing its fill just until a couple minutes before launch. It's at about 80% full of RP1 and 85% full of RP1 and about 80% of liquid oxygen. The second stage does its propellant loading sequentially. So its RP1 load is actually complete. That was finishing up at about T-minus 22 minutes. And the liquid oxygen load began just a few moments ago, and it's at about 15% loaded at the moment. We pressurize the tanks with helium. Those are at just under 100%. We'll slowly be trickling in additional helium. Those hold the pressure in the tanks when we're emptying the tanks of fuel during ascent. We're also planning on recovering the first stage of today's Falcon 9. The drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, is currently holding position 340 nautical miles southeast of Kennedy Space Center. And after stage separation around T plus 3.5 minutes or so, or 2.5 minutes or so, excuse me, we should be bringing you live coverage on its way back down. All told, vehicle's healthy at the moment. Payload's also healthy, and the range is a go. Weather-wise, we're watching some strong high-altitude winds and some thick cloud layers that are cooling to minus 20 degrees Celsius, but there's nothing that's looking like it's going to stop us from launching in 12 minutes from now.
Block 5 refers to a series of upgrades we've made to the Falcon 9 rocket as part of our ongoing effort to make spaceflight more like commercial air travel is today, and that is to say safe, affordable, and utilizing vehicles that can be flown over and over again. Over time, the primary benefit of these Block 5 upgrades will be the capability to achieve rapid reusability with high reliability. Block 5 is designed for 10 or more flights with very limited refurbishment, but should be capable of additional flights with further testing and possibly additional refurbishment after that. In addition to the changes that Michael and Lauren have touched on, we've also made changes to the 9 Merlin engines on the bottom of the first stage of the Falcon 9. The thrust of each of these Merlin 1D engines has been increased from about 176,000 pound-feet to 190,000 pound-feet at sea level, which represents roughly an 8% increase in thrust. We also have changed the primary thrust structure that houses these engines, which we call the octaweb, from a welded aluminum structure to a bolted structure. And this greatly reduces the manufacturing and inspection burden and increases reliability and shortens the lead time while in manufacturing. Additional improvements have been made to the landing legs to support rapid post-landing vehicle processing, and we've upgraded the operational capability of components across the board on the rocket. Some of the improvements we made have already flown on previous vehicles. For example, the titanium grid fins, which have significantly greater control authority than the previous iteration, were flown for the first time back on Iridium 2 in June. In addition, we've also flown an upgraded first stage heat shield, thermal protection tiles, as well as a new second stage new anti-vortex device, which is used to prevent the fluids inside the stage from developing into a whirlpool or vortex. The ultimate goal is to be capable of relaunching a flown booster within 24 hours with minimal refurbishment. That doesn't mean we intend to fly the rocket once a day, but we could if we needed to. Block 5 will be SpaceX's workhorse vehicle for years to come. It is the final substantial upgrade to the Falcon 9 design, although we may make minor upgrades as we continue to strive for rapid reusability and extremely high reliability.
As previously mentioned, Bangabandhu Satellite 1 will be the first Bangladeshi geostationary communication satellite for the country of Bangladesh. The satellite was built by Thales Aleinia Space of France and fitted with 26 Ku-band and 14 C-band transponders. This allows the satellite to cover a wide variety of broadcast and telecommunication applications, including satellite TV, internet access, and emergency communication services, and much, much more. The satellite will be operated by the Bangladesh Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, or the BTRC. Located at 119.1 degrees east, Bangabandhu Satellite 1 will provide direct-to-home services, video distribution, and very small aperture terminal communications across Bangladesh. The satellite will also provide broadband connectivity to rural areas throughout the country. The satellite's mission is expected to last at least 15 years. The launch of Bangabandhu Satellite 1 is a key milestone for the country of Bangladesh, and to acknowledge this effort, we have a special message from the CEO of Thales Aleinia Space, and its messages to the teams who made this mission possible.
Today is an important day for Bangladesh and for all of us. Bangabandhu Satellite 1 is, without any doubt, a pioneering and ambitious space program that will mark the history of Bangladesh. And I'm very proud of Thales Aleinia Space to be part of this exciting story. Bangabandhu Satellite 1 is designed to reduce the digital divide in Bangladesh by providing broadcasting and communication services all over the country, and particularly in rural zones. This satellite will highly contribute to the economic development of Bangladesh. Being the country's first telecom satellite, it also represents the confirmation of Bangladesh's entry into the high-tech space sphere. And at Thales Aleinia Space, we are delighted to contribute and make this happen. The teams from Bangladesh worked with us in a very professional and human way. We will never forget the emotional and decisive moment of the satellite's acceptance review in our clean rooms. The entire delegation, with the Bangladeshi flag in their hands, began to sing in unison in front of the huge silvery mass of the Bangabandhu Satellite 1. It's moments like these that really lend meaning to our motto, Space for Life. I would like to congratulate all teams involved for doing such a fantastic job. Thales Aleinia Space teams for their large contribution and for having delivered the satellite on time. Spectra, our efficient satellite ground segment partner in Bangladesh, and SPI team for the close cooperation with our teams along the program. Finally, I would like to warmly thank BTRC for entrusting us with the first satellite. From beginning to end, you can count on Thales Aleinia Space. Joy Bangabandhu, joy Bangladesh.
We're now at about T-minus 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and at this point, Stage 1 and Stage 2 are just about fully loaded with almost 1 million pounds of kerosene fuel and liquid oxygen.
Frosty there.
The second stage is 100% full of RP1 and about 85% full of liquid oxygen. The first stage is just under 100% of RP1 and at about 98% of liquid oxygen. We'll continue topping both stages off until about T-minus 2 minutes to keep the propellants as cold and therefore as dense as possible. That way we can fit as much propellant onto the vehicle to loft the satellite this afternoon. Around the T-minus 7 minute mark, we began our engine chill procedure. The propellants are much colder than the engines, and so it's important to get the engines to the correct temperature by slowly flowing propellant through them before ignition. Liquid oxygen in particular is so much colder that it would turn into a gas upon first contact, which would be a pretty hard start for the engine. The next major activities, the strong back, that's the white structure right next to Falcon 9 there, will open and slightly retract away from the rocket. It will fully recline as soon as Falcon 9 leaves the pad. At T-minus 3 minutes, we'll be performing an engine wiggle. That's double checking to make sure that the thrust vector control system is working properly. That's the system that allows the engines to steer Falcon 9 during ascent. At T-minus 60 seconds, you'll hear that Falcon 9 is in startup mode, which means that the rocket's internal flight computers have taken over the countdown. One more interesting change for this mission in particular relates to how we're using the Merlin engines. In Block 4, the engines were used with a constant chamber pressure. Because engine thrust depends on both chamber pressure and external atmospheric pressure, the engine thrust would slowly increase by up to 10 or 15,000 pounds per engine during ascent. The difference here is that for Block 5, we'll be maintaining a constant thrust of 190,000 pound force until cutoff, which means that we'll be slowly decreasing the engine's chamber pressures over time in order to compensate for the decreasing atmospheric pressure during that ascent.
All right, so we're getting pretty close here. Sorry for mispronouncing Bangabandhu.
Again, for today's mission, we are looking to recover the first stage. This is the fully reusable version of the Block 5 rocket, at least 10 times reuse and potentially up to 100. The drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, is currently on standby in the Atlantic Ocean, ready to catch the first stage during its descent. Bangabandhu Satellite 1 is currently looking pretty healthy, entirely healthy, and we're excited to get that into its geostationary transfer orbit. The range is currently go, and the weather is also still looking good enough for us to launch today. At this point, we're just outside of T-minus 3 minutes, so let's listen in to the last few minutes of terminal count.
So we'll keep this up here, but just figured I'd throw in a couple things. Gregorius mentioned earlier, if you've never watched one of these Falcon 9 rockets launched before, a lot of smoke coming off there. It's not leaking. That's completely normal. Most of it is a lot of it is venting.
Bleed verification.
Venting of liquid oxygen.
88.5 degrees.
But because those are super chilled fuels, a lot of condensation coming off the sides of the rocket as well. So all completely normal, looks completely fine, so don't get too worried about that. Also, when we get to liftoff at T-minus 0 or T-minus 1, something like that, there'll be a green flash right at the engine. The green flash is T-TEB. That's the igniter fluid used to actually ignite the Merlin 1D engine, so keep an eye on the engine area right at the T-minus 1, T-minus 0 area, you'll see a quick green flash and then engine ignition.
Stage 2 locks, throttle and back.
So we're looking good. It seems like we're going to go here now. And then don't forget to stick around. You got to stick around after the launch.
Stage 2 locks look complete.
We'll give away one of these test patches. You got to be a commenter. I think Nightbot's looking at commenters. So make sure you comment. We'll talk about the rules afterwards, but that's how it's going to pick somebody. Better get my timeline.
Gas closeouts is running.
Big vent there, that's pretty normal as well. That usually happens right as we get down to 1 to 2 minutes prior to launch here. So that's one of the last, or that is the last big
A1D
vent.
fuel bleed complete.
Here we go, under a minute now.
ASDS ready to launch.
Somebody mentioned it earlier too. SpaceX does such a nice job. Uh-oh, what happened to the count? The video's still going. Uh-oh, did they hold it?
Countdown, we've had a launch abort sequence start.
Don't hear anything. Count's not moving though. Uh-oh. I don't hear anything, but it seems like we got to hold. That's not good. Hold, launch abort. Yep, we definitely have a hold here.
It looks like just after Falcon 9 entered startup mode, it threw an abort. We're currently looking into a little more details to see if we're able to continue today's mission. If not, we'll be using our backup day tomorrow at about the same time.
Oh, man. I hate holds, but got to do the safe thing. We don't want this thing to go into a million pieces here. Oh, bummer. Well, this is the downside here to today's launch. So if you've been following around recently, sorry, I'm kind of multitasking here. That's why I'm not looking at the screen. But you've been following along with the with what's going on today. It's been delayed a couple of times. We do have a larger launch window today, but the they reset it to T-minus 15 because we do have about half an hour left in the launch window. So we didn't have a huge launch window left, but looks like they reset it to T-minus 15.
If you're just joining us, it appears we had an abort thrown by the vehicle just after it entered startup mode. These abort sequences are important to make sure that the Falcon 9 is in its best shape in time for any launch. So we're much happier to take those aborts beforehand rather than continue when there's any risk to the vehicle. If we have to go tomorrow, we'll be checking to see exactly what was happening that threw the abort today. The backup launch window opens tomorrow at 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time, or 8:14 Universal Coordinated Time, and closes at 6:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, or 10:21 Universal Coordinated Time.
So I wouldn't get too excited. So they did reset to T-minus 15 minutes.
Hang on for a few more moments. We're waiting for official word from the countdown net, and we'll get back to you shortly.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get too excited yet. They reset to T-minus 15 minutes, but it's actually part of their standard procedure. When they throw an abort, they recycle the clock to T-minus 15 minutes, especially when they're this close to launch. So it's an automatic recycle to T-minus 15 minutes, and then they're into basically the polling and decision-making process to decide if they want to proceed with the launch today. So I can't really put too much weight into the T-minus 15. minute mark right now because that's just kind of standard procedure. So really we just have to wait and see if they decide to go. We do have, like I said, we got 32 minutes left in the launch window. 6:22 p.m. Eastern Time. That's what is that? 22:22 UTC. Is that right? I think so. But that's when our launch window closes for today. If it does not go today, we will switch, or it's going to be tomorrow would be the backup date. I forget what time he said. Did somebody listen to what time he said? Was it 4:14? Is that what he said? Wasn't paying attention. But it's 4 something, which we'll be live again tomorrow if they are. So we'll have to put an asterisk here. Because the test patch has to happen after launch.
Again, if you're just joining us,
we got to have a launch
we
to
had
give away
an
a test
abort
patch
just
here.
before our predicted launch time of
We'll give away
5:47
a
p.m.
test sticker
Eastern
as
time.
a trial run.
These are an
so
important
test
part of
stickers.
making sure that the vehicle is
So
healthy
the
for
test
launch. At
patch
this
has gotta
time,
be for a
we are
successful
currently
launch.
looking to discover the cause of the abort.
No word on the cause yet. I haven't seen anything. Waiting to see if we can still time. Oh yeah, there's no news really. Everybody's just waiting to hear what's going on. I don't know. They usually have a second camera. I'm afraid to switch over to it. I don't want to screw anything up. I don't want to switch it right now. I don't want to screw it up and miss something. Don't give up on it yet, Matt. Matt Gixer on YouTube says, "See y'all tomorrow." We're not giving up yet. We still got some time. Just hold out a few more minutes. We're going to find out. They've not completely called it for today, but we are at the end of the launch, towards the end of the launch window. 6:22 is the end here. So obviously, with this being a new Block 5 booster, they want to make sure everything is right. We did have, when they did the static fire, a little bit of a delay there. It stayed vertical on the pad after the static fire for a long time, and there was there was a little bit of troubleshooting with the Block 5 when it was on for static fire. So certainly could be related to that, could be completely unrelated. We have no idea. But at the moment, yeah. So I mean, with it being a new vehicle with all these changes, certainly something possible to go wrong there. So I guess not entirely surprising. It is a little bit. It's always disheartening when it happens, especially under 1 minute. You never like to see that, but you'd rather see it be safe than anything else. So yeah, as of right now, we're waiting to see if we're going today or tomorrow. We don't have much time left today. They would have to make a decision by if they go with that T-15, they'd have to make a decision here in the next basically 5 minutes.
We're still looking to discover the cause of the abort that Falcon 9 threw just inside T-1 minute. Because so many systems respond in abort, they change to a safe state. It takes us several minutes to understand the generally single cause of that abort. The team is actively scrubbing the telemetry log as we speak.
So it sounds like an automatic abort. At least I think they mentioned that in the broadcast. Now that I think about it, somebody's
CLD on countdown 1. Vehicle is saved. Please stand by while reviewing data.
So I just said vehicle is saved. We're standing by while they review data. So yeah, they had a launch. It was the launch abort sequence, the automatic abort sequence here that stopped it.
You just heard on the countdown net. We're still reviewing the data to see if we're able to determine the cause of that abort.
Tyler says the space lobster is in there cutting wires. Somebody get that hashtag space lobster out of there. He's in there cutting up the wires. Get him out of there. Oh, man. Come on, we want to see this thing go today. But,
you heard the launch director announce that the vehicle is safe. and gave the OK for payload to go back to external power.
Payload's on external power now. Still waiting for a decision here. Like I said, they got to make a decision here in about 5 or 10 minutes if they're going to have enough time to restart the clock, because that clock would have to start by what's that, 6:07? It would have to start, so that's 12 minutes from now. That's all they got left in their window. They'd have to make that decision in the next 12 minutes in order for the T-minus 15 minute
clock. So we're still reviewing those telemetry logs. We're not yet scrubbed for the day.
Not yet scrubbed.
We're working to bring you that information as quickly as possible.
Big vent.
If we're able to launch today, or if we are not able to launch today, then our backup window is at about the same time tomorrow at 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time, closing at 6:21 p.m. Eastern Time.
Almost exactly the same launch window as today. Yeah, so if we get scrubbed today, 4:14 would be the opening of the launch window tomorrow. It is about a 2-hour launch window, so they got from 4:14 to 6:21 to launch tomorrow. But that'll be, usually they target the beginning of the launch window unless they have something they have to delay for. But should be able to go live during that tomorrow. Yeah, Falcon 9 was in auto sequence, so it was the flight computer that aborted the count. And somebody was saying auto abort sends numerous systems into a safe mode. They have to look through the telemetry logs to pinpoint the issue. That takes time. So that's what we're into right now. Is because it was an auto abort by the flight computer. They're basically paging through the telemetry logs, trying to find out what went wrong, what would have caused that auto abort. So it's really going to depend on what the reason was and what the cause was for that abort, is whether or not if they can resolve it, then they might go. If they can't resolve it or they need more time, then we'll have to scrub for today. Stubby was going to ask if you'd be live tomorrow. Yes, I will be live tomorrow if we get scrubbed. So we'll do this again. We'll be live tomorrow because we got to give away the test mission patch. But just like they do for regular space launches, for the press and for the media, for the mission managers, you can't get a mission patch unless we have a successful launch. So the mission patch is being given away after launch.
We are still continuing to look at the data to determine if we can understand the cause of this afternoon's abort. Aborts are part of the standard process. Again, it's good to make sure that the Falcon 9 is completely ready to go, both the ground systems and the vehicle systems as well. And double checking those is vastly preferable to having any sort of a problem during flight. There's still a chance that we may be able to launch today, and we're working to see if that's going to be possible. Otherwise, we'll aim for a backup launch window tomorrow afternoon.
Savvy time waster. I want that patch. Well, if we get scrubbed today, I'll give away a sticker. It'll be our trial run to see how the Nightbot does. If you're watching on Facebook, you got to switch over to YouTube because Nightbot is going to use the YouTube comments to determine who gets. Well, it's going to be either a patch or a sticker, depending on if we launch or not. So we'll see. We'll see if we launch, but we got to have a successful launch to get a mission patch. But we'll give away something at least. Somebody said, Jason asked, did you come up with a solution for the antenna braking on your high altitude balloon with the micro tracker? I think so. So we did. He's referring to our Flight 10 and Flight 11. We got video on Flight 11 of our antenna snapping off in the middle of our flight during descent. So yeah, we do have. I don't even know if you could see it, but here's our micro payload ready for ready for the next flight. It's ready for flight 12, and I think I have to wiggle it just so you can see it, but this is our new antenna, which is smaller. It's actually guitar string. So it's just solid steel guitar string, but it's a little more flexible.
If you're just joining us, we had an abort at the very final stages of countdown within 1 minute for a launch time of 5:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Falcon 9 threw the abort, and they're part of the standard process. We're still continuing to look at the data to conclude, even if it was a ground problem or a vehicle problem. Because at T-1 minutes, the flight computers go into startup mode, the process of understanding that abort is a little more difficult than at other times in the countdown. So we're reviewing those telemetry logs to make sure that we're understanding it. There is still a chance that we can make it work for today's window, and we're currently exploring if that's a possibility.
Yeah, so, this Alex Ziggyful said, this is an expensive payload for Bangladesh. This certainly is, and especially being their first geostationary communication satellites, they want to make sure it actually gets up there. God, could you imagine how disheartening it would be if it didn't work out? That would be no good. It would be no good for anybody, not just Bangladesh, the government and the people that worked on it, but even SpaceX. It would set back the whole Block 5 Falcon 9 program. It'd just be a huge mess. So it is, although it's a bummer today, it is better to get this resolved here. Well, we got some big venting going on. A lot of venting happening here. We only got about 6 minutes to resume the count. We're seeing a lot of vertical venting here from the first stage. And it stopped. So, but again, these are super cooled liquid oxygen. So, could be expanding, heating up. They got to vent it so it doesn't get overpressurized. Song 110 before giving says detanking question mark. It was pretty short. So let's see. Yoshi, looks like tomorrow maybe. They are doing a lot of venting, but that could be normal. It's been a while since I've watched an abort, so hard for me to remember what's normal at what times. We're getting close to. They got about. What is that? 4 minutes to decide to pick up the count. Too many burritos. So he said, does decreased chamber pressure at higher altitude during ascent mean more fuel for landing burns during descent? Well, this is definitely, and it's probably a little bit beyond my expertise as to exactly the reason, but this is a more efficient...
If you're just joining us, you can see that it's a T-minus 15-minute clock at the moment in a yellow state, which means we're in a hold state. We threw an abort at just inside of T-minus 1 minute as Falcon 9 had taken control of the countdown. Those aborts are part of the standard process to make sure that everything is working just as we're expecting. Much better to have those sorts of signals on the ground rather than any time during ascent.
So what was I saying? Oh, so this was the landing for this first stage booster was supposed to need less fuel to perform that landing because it was more efficient. I don't know exactly if it has to do with the chamber pressure or if it has to do with the Merlin upgrades that were happening on the engine. So I'm not exactly sure what the efficiency improvement was that's allowing for less fuel during landing. But that was one of the Block 5 performance improvements, was that they would need less fuel to perform their landing burns for Block 5. Guidance computer abort, Gregorius says. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see anything. I don't know exactly what it was. Last time the computer automatically aborted a SpaceX launch countdown was back in July 3rd of 2017 during the Intelsat 35E mission. That was the last time we had a computer auto abort. Matt said, "Hey, I heard clapping." I heard clapping as well. I don't know what that meant, but yeah. Gregorius says guidance computer. I didn't hear guidance computer abort. I just heard flight computer abort, which could be, that's the automatic computer startup process, so it really could be any of the systems. Doesn't necessarily have to be the GNC or the guidance system that caused the abort, but it was definitely an auto abort from the flight computer. As far as what system it was, whether it was guidance or ground systems or any of the systems on board, I have not heard any word yet on that. I hear some whooping in the background. Woo! This is the engineers. Woo! Let it fly! Yeah, so we're 6:06. They'd have to start that clock in like 1 minute, or else we're gonna end up scrubbing here. So I don't have a good feeling about this. Time is running out. Somebody just tweeted me. Yeah, well, while we hang out here, we will be live tomorrow if we get scrubbed. And we'll give away that mission patch tomorrow if we're scrubbed, but make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it tomorrow. And also, make sure you throw in some comments here, because if we do get scrubbed or whatever, we're going to give away a sticker. And you got to be a commenter, I think, is the way Nightbot does that. I don't know. Nightbot is magic. It's a new toy for me, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But
Leon, countdown and officially scrubbed for today, preparing for a 24-hour recycle.
There's your scrub for today. Officially scrubbed. So there it is. Not happening today. Launch director just said officially scrubbed for today. They're moving on to a 24-hour recycle. So they will try again tomorrow. Tomorrow at 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 2014 UTC. They will give it another shot. We will be live again tomorrow. We'll kick it off again, and we'll see if it launches. And make sure you follow.
Just received final confirmation that we are standing down today due to a violation of abort criteria. The vehicle and payload are in good health. The next launch opportunity is tomorrow, May 11th. Again, if you're just joining us, we had a launch attempt at 5:47 p.m. Eastern Time. Falcon 9 threw an abort in the final minute of countdown. And it seems like we are unable to reach the launch, or to launch within the launch window for today at this time. We have concluded a preliminary review, however, and have determined that the vehicle and payload are in good health, and will be aiming to launch tomorrow during our backup launch window at 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time, closing at 6:21 p.m. Eastern Time.
So mainly the scrub criteria here, the scrub factor.
At this point, we'll conclude the webcast. Thank you again for joining us. And we hope to see you for tomorrow's launch attempt at, again, 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you again.
All right, so they're going to end that. They're going to end that there. And I guess we'll switch back over here to full screen. We'll chat for a minute while we're chatting here. So we're going to give it a couple minutes and wrap up here. But we're going to give away this sticker. And like I said, I've never done this before. So we're going to let Nightbot decide who gets the sticker today. But I'm pretty sure Nightbot is basing the eligibility on commenters on the YouTube channel. So if you want a chance to win a sticker, make sure you comment. It's only looking at commenters that have commented in the last 5 minutes. So there is, that's what we're looking at here as far as who gets the sticker today. So make sure you throw in some comments here, and we'll chat. Don't spam the comments. I mean, but you can say, give it to me, Nightbot, or something like that. Or I want the sticker, Nightbot, or I don't know, something, whatever you want to say. Keep it PG related, please. Oh yeah, we don't want to do this. Cancel that. We can get rid of this stuff here. So we don't need that. But anyway, so we did scrub for today. Sounds like the vehicle and the payload are still in good health. So we will recycle and go again for tomorrow. The main factor really at this point is just the fact that we ran out of launch time today. The window closed at 6:22. They would have had to start the clock at 6:07 in order to be able to launch today. So we ran out of time. Got out of the launch window for today, but we will try again tomorrow. I'll be live again tomorrow, and we'll try this again. If we do get a successful launch tomorrow, we will give away the test patch, the mission patch. I don't know if you can tell the difference really, but you got one's a sticker, a little shiny sticker here. The other one's an actual. Let me get, how close can I get without it? So that's the mission patch for tests. It's an actual patch from the test mission when I was down at the NASA social event. So we got a couple of these things to give away here. So yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out here. And let's, so I see a whole bunch of comments that came in. Let me see. The Nightbot has, it's pulling, and you have to forgive me because I don't know how this works, but it says that we've got 26 eligible users for the sticker here. So get your comments in here now real quick, so that we can try this thing out. We'll see what happens, and if and we'll try not to royally screw it up and actually get this sticker out to somebody. So that's what's happening here. All right, let's see. Let me see how to do this. All right, this is, I'm giving, okay, I think, I don't know, Nightbot might throw in a comment here. I don't know how that works. Oh no, Nightbot yelled at Jason. What happened, Jason? You put in some code. That wasn't nice, Nightbot. Why did you, that was a fine comment. Why did you yell at Jason for that comment? No, Nightbot. Leave Jason alone, that was just fine. Let me see, let me make sure. Jason, are you in the list here? Yeah, you're still on the list here for eligibility here. So I got a list, it's got a list of about 30 users here that says they're eligible for a sticker. So I guess, I don't know what's going to happen here. I just click this button that says roll the dice, and I guess it's going to pick a winner. I don't know how that works. All right, we'll try it. Ready? Roll the dice. Go. All right, so did it comment on anything? There you go. There's Nightbot just commented, said Konstantina Islandadu has won the giveaway for the sticker here today. So there's our winner. Send me a message. How am I going to do this? You're going to have to send me a message here so I can figure out where to send this. So either direct message me on, well, I think there's a way to direct message me on YouTube, right? So direct message me on YouTube where you want it sent to, and I will send this sticker over to you. And that was actually kind of fun. So we're going to do a follow-up one because I do have some more stickers. So we're going to give away one of these stickers here too. So we're going to try this one more time because that was fun. I like that. That was cool. I wish I had more stuff to give away. So Konstantina, send me a message and I will send you that sticker. Send me a direct message where you want me to send it to, and we'll get that out. You win a test sticker. Let's do it one more time. That was so much fun, was it? So yeah, you can either use Gregorius says use the email feature. Well, you can either direct message on YouTube would be the best option, because then I can verify that you are who you say you are. But don't try to claim that you're Konstantina if you're not Konstantina. So Alex says give away your electric guitar. No, I'm not giving away my electric guitar. It's staying there. All right, let's do this one more time. Let's give away. All right, so I don't want to lose this. All right, Constantina, I'm leaving this up to you. Send me a message, either direct message me on Facebook, direct message on YouTube, or email me on our overlookhorizon.com contact us feature. Somehow, send me where you want that sticker to go to. It's going to Constantina. All right, one more time here. We're going to give away sticker number 2. That looks like TOS. I know they do kind of look like, it does look like it says TOS, doesn't it? Because it's supposed to be, the idea is the E is supposed to be a planet transiting across the star. But yeah, it does kind of look like TOS, but it does say TESS if you look closely. But I don't know, I didn't design it. All right, so throw your comments in, and we're going to do this one more time. We're going to roll the dice. We're going to give away one more sticker. I got the white sticker here. And all right, here we go. We're going to hit the roll it button. Come on, Nightbot, what do you got? John Link. John Link is getting this test sticker. So there we go. We got 2 sticker giveaways right there. We got a black one. We got a white one. We're sending those out today. Those are our 2 sticker winners. We will... I got lots more to give away, so you got to make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to do this for every SpaceX launch until I give away the stickers. We got stickers to give away. We're going to do this on every SpaceX launch. I don't want to give them away all at once, because then I got nothing to give away, because that was a lot of fun. I like that. But plus, we didn't even have a launch today, and we're giving away stuff. But we're going to do it on every SpaceX launch, so you got to come back. We'll give it. We got more stickers and stuff to give away. So there we go. We'll send out stickers. So send me a direct message, Constantina and John. Send me a direct message, either Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or the contact us feature on overlookhorizon.com. Tell me where you want the sticker to go, and we'll get it in the mail to you. Okay, so there it is, folks. We scrubbed for today. And we're gonna try again tomorrow, 4:14 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2014 UTC will be the next launch attempt. That's the opening of the window. We can go all the way to 6:21 or 22:21 UTC tomorrow. So we're gonna go again tomorrow. We will be live again, and of course, because we got more stuff, we're gonna give away more stuff tomorrow. If you already won, so Constantina and John, you're out for tomorrow's giveaway. And then, well, I shouldn't even say that really, because we're giving away a patch, but it should be fair. We don't want to give away too much stuff, but yeah, we're gonna make sure we give something away. Hopefully, we're giving away the patch tomorrow. But that was a lot of fun. I like doing that. I like giving away stuff. So we're gonna give away something tomorrow for sure. Denise says, "Do you have any Overlook Horizon stickers to give away as well?" Oh man, you're gonna twist my arm about it. That was so much fun. We'll do one more. All right, we'll give away an Overlook Horizon sticker too, because I'm gonna have to put stuff in the mail anyways. Let's give away an Overlook Horizon sticker. Jason says, leave them in if it's for the patch. All right, I agree with Jason. We'll leave John and Constantina, if we're giving away the patch, since you didn't win the patch, we'll leave them in for eligibility. So if you want a sticker, you can still win the patch tomorrow, because that's kind of a big deal. So we'll leave them in. All right, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna give away the we're gonna give away an Overlook Horizon sticker, because we got to give out. And now I'm gonna have to keep track of all this. But Constantina, John, and our other winner for the Overlook Horizon sticker is, roll it. Can't pronounce your name, but there it is. I don't know how are we gonna. I don't know how to send you a sticker, because I don't know what your name is. But that's the person. That's the person that won. I'm assuming somebody's got to, like, well, I don't. Can you Google? You can't Google Translate a name. I don't know. Somebody's got to claim that if they want that sticker, because I don't know who that user was. So I'll give you a minute to claim who that was. Tomer, I think that's who it was. Tomer, there, right? That's the right. Yeah, that's the same one. Yeah, so it's Tomer there. Oh, Gavin, man, you're that's not really nice. Tomer is what's your English phonetic for your name? Yeah, I think he said Tomer. So there you go. Tomer, maybe. Sorry if I'm butchering it. Terrible with names. I should get better. So there we go. We're giving away some stickers here today. We got 3 giveaways. That was fun. It won't be like that all the time, but I don't know. That was the first time I used that giveaway thing. I was having some fun with it. So, all right. Anyways, scrubbed for today. The people that won the stickers, send me those direct messages on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or the email that contact us on overlookhorizon.com. Send me where you want those stickers sent. I'll send them out, and we'll do more again tomorrow. So join us tomorrow, 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time is the tentative time. Keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter, or even on YouTube channel as well, because we'll update the time if SpaceX changes that launch time. But we will give that a shot. Somebody said, do you personally get the Overlook Horizon emails? I get a bonus next week and want to throw a little in the pot for giveaways. Well, you can't buy into the giveaways. That defeats the whole purpose. But I do personally get the Overlook Horizon emails. So if you send them, they will come to me. I'll see them. So yeah, you should open a web store. We do have a web store on our Facebook page, but we're working on getting a web store on our actual website, because we started selling our circuit boards for our high altitude balloons, but we want to do more. We just kind of do the basics right now, but we're getting there. We're going to have some more. But we'll have more going forward. So there we go. Scrubbed today. Automatic auto abort today at T-minus 58 seconds. Somebody said no. He said, oh, no. I thought you were. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Chosakan said. I said I wasn't going to try, and then I tried. I don't know. Anyways, he said no to help pay for them. Oh yeah, you can say if you want to help pay for the merchandise to give away, you can go to overlookhorizon.com/donate. We are a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization in the United States, or you certainly send me an email too, and we can tell you where to go. But we are a charitable organization in the United States, so if you make a donation, it is 100% tax deductible in the United States, because we are officially a 501c3 nonprofit charity organization in the United States. So feel free to make a donation, and that'll help us do stuff like give stuff away to people and get them excited about some of this stuff. So anyway, sorry, Chosakan. I thought you were trying to pay me off here. Can you just give me hey, I want a sticker. Here's. So anyway, accepting crypto. I don't know if our donation accepts cryptocurrency. I don't know. I don't run that, so I don't think it does. I think the donation systems only takes PayPal and credit cards. I don't think it takes cryptocurrency. Maybe someday. All right, there we go. We'll do it. This was so much fun. We got to give away stuff every time. That was the best part of the whole thing, especially because we didn't have a rocket launch. I mean, if we have a rocket launch, that'd be cool. But giving stuff away, that's a lot of fun, right? Who doesn't like free stuff? Okay, all right, scrubbed for today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Let's see. Sorry. Caprina says, wow, we're so neglected on Facebook. I know, Caprina, I'm sorry. We just don't, Facebook doesn't have a lot of, we don't get a lot of viewers on our Facebook live pages. So yeah, you can, you got to join the YouTube channel, because we got some crazy discussions going on the YouTube channel for all the Space Lobster fans and everybody else. So, let's see. Ann Aldridge says, can I donate from the UK? You can donate from the UK. You can donate from anywhere in the world. It's just I don't think it's tax deductible, so you don't get the tax benefit unless you're in the United States. For anybody in the United States that donates, you get a little tax break at the end of the year for giving to a charity. But we still take donations from wherever it goes, or wherever it comes from. But you just don't get the tax break unless you're in the United States. So. And that's at overlookhorizon.com/donate. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. I like this. I really got to start giving away stuff more often, because this was cool. So all right, well, I will see you guys all tomorrow. This was a lot of fun. Oh, let's see, we gotta the Twitter machine's lighting up. Just want to see if there's any news. SpaceX just said they're standing down. That's not any news. That's about Elon's thing earlier. Scrub for 24 hours. Yeah, so we're going to try again tomorrow, 4:14. All right, so none of that's anything new. So so there we go. That's what happened for today. No launch, but tune in tomorrow, 4:14 p.m. Eastern Time is the opening of the launch window 2014 UTC, and we'll talk more about. Because we did have some stuff that we didn't get to today about the Bangabandhu. I'm going to learn how to pronounce that correctly for tomorrow. The Bagabandhu satellite. Because we did. We started getting into we got some stuff to talk about with Mr. Steven. Mr. Steven got some upgrades on the West Coast. So we're gonna go again tomorrow. This was fun, and we're definitely giving away stuff. So. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. For those that won the stickers, definitely send me that direct message either on Facebook, Twitter, or preferably on YouTube. But if you don't know how, I don't know if I know how to send a direct message on YouTube. So, but if you don't, but yeah, send me that direct message on somehow Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or send it contact us page on our website. And we'll get those stickers out. So if you want it, I'm leaving it up to you. Tell me where you want the sticker to go. And yeah, BD Brooks, yes, they scrubbed the launch today. It is scrubbed, 24-hour scrub. We're going to try again tomorrow. Vehicle's in good health. Payload's in good health. So it sounds like there's no major issues that they're working. But we are scrubbed for today. Something auto-aborted. The flight computer had an auto-abort at T-minus 58 seconds. So under a minute, they auto-aborted. So there we go. Join us tomorrow, and we'll do more of this. We'll give more stuff away. How many times I said that? Like 25 times maybe? Probably more. So there we go. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Jack says he's going to wake up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Is that what time it's going to be for you? Well, it's 4 p.m. for us. So 4... or maybe Jack is just making fun. Did I say 4 p.m.? Maybe I didn't say 4 p.m. Maybe I might have said 4:14. Yeah, don't wake up at 4 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. It's 4 p.m., 4:14 p.m., 2014 UTC. BD Brooks said, I thought it was weather. No, not a weather abort today. This was an auto sequence abort. It was an abort by the flight computer, so something in the telemetry of the flight computer. That automatically aborted at T-minus 58 seconds. A weather abort is generally going to be a manual abort by somebody on the launch team. Usually that would happen a lot sooner than T-minus 58 seconds. Yeah, this abort was an auto sequence abort. So, Space TV. Do SpaceX rockets have their own names? They don't name the rockets. Maybe they have internal names, but not that I know of. They don't name the rockets. They do have, each booster has a booster number. It's like 1,000. I can tell you what this booster number was. This was booster number, hold on, I have it. This is booster number 1046.1. So this is it's basically like the serial number. Serial number is B1046.1. That's the booster number for this first stage, block 5. So they do have those serial numbers on them, but no names that I know of. So they just go with the mission name when they actually launch them. So this was the Bangabandhu. I'm still probably butchering that name, but we're gonna try to get it right. I just like saying it. Whether I get it right or not, Bangabandhu. So the people watching from Bangladesh are probably just cringing listening to me butcher the name of it. So I'm sorry. I do my best. I try. So, all right. Oh, Jack from the Philippines. You got to wake up. Is that 12 hours ahead of us? Wow, 4 a.m. Yeah. Why not? Get up at 4 a.m. Come on. What else? You could sleep later. Let's do this. BD Brooks, are you at SpaceX headquarters? No, I wish I was at SpaceX headquarters. No, I am not. I have no affiliation with SpaceX other than the fact that I'm a big fan and I'm a software engineer and I like watching rocket launches. And we do high altitude weather balloon launches, which are kind of like rocket launches in a really, really small scale. We pretend they're rocket launches, just we have a balloon instead of a rocket. So we're like, we're living in a SpaceX fantasy world when we do our weather balloon launches, but it's a lot of fun. So that's what we do, and I watch these rocket launches. I figure, hey, if I'm going to watch them, we'll watch them with you guys. We'll hang out, we'll talk, we'll give away stuff, and I'll make a fool out of myself for half the time, usually. So, Alex says, if they're using the same booster 100 times, they should have names like Ernie or Elvis. I like that. You should. This is Ernie the Booster. Let's see, what else did I miss? Yeah, B1046.1, that's the model number. Safe space tube. Thanks again, see you tomorrow. Hashtag Space Lobster. What's the weight of the payload? Oh, good question. The weight of the payload, I have it here somewhere, is 3,700 kilograms, roughly. It's not an exact weight, but it's the Bangabandhu satellite. See, I had to say it again. I just like it. Is 3,700 kilograms. So there you go. Let's see. Somebody said that's Jason. That's probably what the number after the decimal means. Launch number for that booster. Could be. I don't know. I never really paid much attention to the serial numbers. I don't really know what the .1 means. I haven't really investigated that. I always just see it in passing, and I'm like, I don't care what the model number is. But you're right. It could be. I bet it is. I'll have to look at that. Ask me again tomorrow. I'm going to look into that for you. Love from India. Oh, thanks for hanging out from India. We got people all over the place. Southwest of France. Wow, we got everybody's coming in from all over the world. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Yeah, I'm not at SpaceX headquarters. I'm in Rochester, New York. We're finally getting some warm weather here. We were snowing up till about 2 weeks ago, but now it's 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. And people yell at me all the time because I don't know the metric system well enough. Just didn't grow up with it. Oh, somebody from Poland. Wow. Yeah, so Ray had said this satellite was made in France, or made by a French company. What's the name of the company? The company is, I have that too. Was it like Thales something? Or Thales Aleinia Space, which is a French company. That made the Bangabandhu satellite for Bangladesh. Bangladesh? I don't know. Okay, love from Bangladesh. God, I really got to research what the correct pronunciation is from that. And hello from Germany. I know we got a couple people from Germany. I love it. I guess I didn't even realize we got all these people from all over the world watching. So, all right, well. Cool. Thanks, everybody. Oh, this was fun. Let's send a hello to the guys from the Space Today in Brazil. Hello, guys from Space Today in Brazil. Hi from the UK. Guess because I'm in New York, too, I'm not that exciting. Nah, New York is exciting. What's wrong with New York? We're in New York. I like New York. I got no problem with New York. I just wish it was warmer in New York. It's all right now, but you catch me a month ago, and I was miserable because it was freezing out. All right. Okay, well, yeah, so we're looking at 4:14 p.m. tomorrow. We'll try this again. Hopefully we actually get a launch, because then we're going to give away that the test patch tomorrow, actual mission patch from the test mission. So Jason says .1 means flight number, so I might be right. Okay, so on the booster serial number, the .1 is the flight number. So yeah, that makes sense. This is the first flight of this Block 5, so yeah, it must be the flight number. So, all right, I think I've said it 100 times now, but I'm going to wrap it up here now. We had some fun. We gave away some stuff, and we're going to try again tomorrow. Scrubbed today. Oh, here you go. Jason's got the whole nomenclature for the the serial number. B equals booster. I think that one I think I could have nailed down. 1, the first 1 means it's the first stage. All right, so the 1 is the first stage, and the .1 means flight number. All right, so the 046 just must be the number of the booster, I'm guessing. Yeah, this was 1046.1, meaning first stage, 46th booster, first flight. I'll buy it. Sounds good to me. All right. Well, we'll see you guys all tomorrow. Hopefully we see this launch here, and we'll give away a patch tomorrow. But join us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Hit that little notification bell so when we go live, you get a little notification. Make sure or follow us on Twitter for those updates, because I'll update as the launch time for when that's going to happen for tomorrow. But we'll see you guys all tomorrow, assuming they go tomorrow. We'll see you guys all tomorrow for a launch. Thanks for hanging out. This was so much fun. I love this. I like hanging out with you guys, so appreciate it. I'm sorry for the Facebook people that we neglected you a little bit. Gary, Caprina, sorry about that. They said we're all neglected here on Facebook. I know, I'm sorry, but we have so much fun on the YouTube channel. So, all right, so there we go. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, donate if you're feeling really generous to overlookhorizon.com/donate. And other than that, we will see you tomorrow for another SpaceX attempt at the Bangabandhu satellite for Bangladesh for the first Block 5 Falcon 9 booster. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. See ya.